Hi, my name is Margrett Lewis, and I'm glad to have today to do this staff briefing. I'm from Not Your Turn to Burn, and unfortunately, I'm a mom who's lived through these consumer products that are burning, maiming, and killing our kids, our families, and our communities. Please note we have consumer products that by simply tipping and pouring can become an IED. It's an improvised explosive device. Let me explain to you a little bit about the type of products I'm referring to so that you have a very clear idea. I'm talking about things like fuels that are used for cooking, lighting, and heating. These are the same things that you would use when you go camping. If you were using it for a lantern or to cook with, you would use it for doing chores and things like a weed eater, a lawnmower. Recreationally, ATVs, and other types of vehicles. Please also think about the fact that this is the exact same scenario that's happening in our science classrooms across the country. And I want to stand up and stand here today and ask you to think about our science teachers. This is happening to 100 to 200 kids a year in science classrooms. Why are we allowing products that burn us alive to remain on our store shelves when the safety guard has been removed? What I'm referring to is called a flame arrestor. A flame arrestor is a piece of window screening. It can either be metal screening, and I'll show you an example. I wear it on my neck. It's a miniature of a little cup. This used to be in gas cans. Please know, I want to show you another one that shows you a disc. This is just a simple disc made of metal. It could be made of plastic. I want to make sure that you understand these are consumer products that should have a little device, a little safety screen on them. This safety screen could be made of metal or plastic. These products could be glass, metal, or plastic containers. Any combination of this works every time. I wish I could tell you that our government is looking out for us and that they understand how horrific burn injuries are. Unfortunately, we now need a federal law because we have 4,000 documented burn injuries a year from flammable liquids. That's just the documented cases. 4,000 is from a 5-year study that the National Fire Protection Agency did. It says that out of those 4,450 deaths occurred. So 4,000 a year is about 10 to 11 a day. One of those burned alive does not survive. They are burned to death or they die from these injuries. Again, this was a de facto standard. These used to be on our containers. If you go to our website, notyourturntoburn.com, I have lots of images where these were on consumer products. According to depositions from manufacturers, they took them off around 2000 to 2002 because some reason an existing safety standard was relaxed and it became an opportunity to save a few pennies. Why are we playing Russian roulette with our kids? I did a research project where I looked at 27 court cases of burn injuries that took place in 1 year. I used this because that way I knew both sides and the law had already decided these cases fell into this category. These injuries averaged $2.3 million. $2.3 million. These cost less than a nickel. Some manufacturers are doing the right thing and they're putting them on. But unfortunately, others are playing Russian roulette with us and our families and our kids. We need to stop that. I'm here to petition our government. We've got a bill, and our bill is a human rights bill. We think it's a human right not to be burned alive. We think it's a human right for our government to say, you must protect the consumers. It already exists for anybody professionally, commercially, anybody that's contract, DOD, all 5 branches of the military. In fact, there are laws and federal regulations that require a flame arrestor at every point from when it comes out of the ground. When it's handled, transferred, mixed, distributed, it's required to have a flame arrestor. The first and only time it's not is when we hand it to consumers or we put it on the shelves. Think like me for a minute. Imagine walking into a big box store. Now, looking at the aisle, you see tool fuels, you see lighter fluid, you see things like containers to hold and transport fuel. Do you know it's a 50-50 chance you're going to find one that have a flame arrestor? Please, if you're in the market for one, stop and check for a flame arrestor. In fact, our federal government should have wording to tell you if it's not on there that they have to warn you. Tipping or pouring burns people alive. Colorado, a science teacher was charged 3 counts criminally. Not only did they lose their job and their career, they have to defend themselves legally 3 counts criminal charges. Think about that. Teachers should be teaching. Our teachers have enough to deal with in the classroom. Our students, we want to know science. Do you think with social media today, the high schoolers aren't hearing about these injuries? Maybe you haven't heard about it. Maybe you're not aware of them. They are. Check the news. There was a group of students in Fairfax, Virginia, burned alive. ATF thought it had been a terrorist attack. They had to investigate. Nashville, Tennessee, 17 students and a teacher burned in a classroom. Discovery Museum, preschoolers and early elementary kids burned alive. Texas, little kids watching a demonstration, wanting to learn about things that are cool with science. Parents think this is safe, but our government isn't telling the manufacturers, you must put it on there. It's time for us to say, this needs to get solved. This is one of those rare times when our federal government needs to protect us. Here's my story, and I hate sharing it. I had bought a biofuel, ethanol, for a ventless fireplace. We used it on our front porch to make s'mores, which is pretty all-American. My identical twin daughters were making s'mores. Last thing one said to the other is, it's your turn to refuel. I did it the last time. Nanosecond. Tipping or pouring, she's engulfed. Nose to toes, burning alive, screaming. I'm the last person that got outside that night. I saw my child on fire. I saw the wall behind her was still on fire. I grabbed my screaming child. I used my hands. I pulled her to my chest. I used my hands to put out her clothing and to take her clothing off. But it was her bare skin that was also on fire. Think about that. Her bare skin was on fire. In these injuries, you get misted with flammable liquid. Your skin is burnt so fast, so hot, it's the fascia underneath that now becomes fuel and keeps the fire alive. I remember putting my hand on her arm, her pulling away, and I stared at the fact that the fire came back. I put my hand on a second time. Thank God my husband came with a towel and we were able to extinguish her. This shouldn't have happened. Our federal government knew 60 cases had been occurring on these products. They tried to do a voluntary standard. Didn't work. I want you to think about that. Voluntary standard. 2 years later, I bought what I was told was the safer product. The price had been $17 the year before, $21. I'm there, it's now $25. It's a safer product. I bought a case that day. A case. They put it in the back of my minivan. I drove it home. I'm the one that handed my daughter an IED and a lighter. When it blew up and she and her sister had to experience Do you know what it's like to be the person that was tipping or pouring? Do you know how dark that is and what you feel like and the regret? Out of these injuries, and I'm going back to the government stat of 4,000, but I want you to know that that doesn't feel right to me. That number doesn't make sense to me. So when I look at the National Burn Repository, there's over 16,000 gasoline-only burn injuries a year. NICE, the National Electronic Surveillance System, information. Please know, that is a system for ER admittances. There's over 20,000 of these injuries a year. Not all of them end up in burn units. Not all of them do. But out of those 4,000, at least 1,000 of those are going to be the severe burn injuries that are over $1 million. This is taxpayer $1 million expenses, and you end up with lifelong disability and issues. How much is that costing us? Could we spend 1,000 of those injuries at $1 million? That's $1 billion. Does our federal government really want to spend $1 billion of our taxpayer money on these injuries with the cruelty, the pain, and the suffering, the terrorism of these injuries, of these products? See, here's the thing I want you to know about me. I am here because I believe public safety is anti-liability. This is good legislation. I want you to know, pay attention. The Portable Fuel Container Safety Act, it's already passed the House unanimously. HR 806 is done. It was sent to the Senate. We got it done in September. Now, I want to know, how do we get it done from here? We have Senate Bill 1640. It's made it through committee. We don't have a committee report. I can't get it brought to the floor yet. I want this passed immediately. Don't you? Don't you want our people we love and care about? Do you want anybody burned alive? Would you let somebody burn a dog alive and burn to death? Would you be okay with a product like that? In our schools, do we want gun violence? They took the safety guard off these products. It was a de facto standard. This is not a new regulation. These work. They've been around for 200 years. Did you know that every government agency has agreed that there are no documented cases of this failing on a consumer product? There are millions of these products being sold. This safety guard is smart. Let's think about it. It doesn't fail, it's cheap, it's easy, it works every time, and it brings you in line with all the other government standards that are out there. Why is it Consumer Product Safety Commission has allowed this to happen? Why aren't they taking action? We need this law to pass because this issue was known since 2002 to be a problem. 2005, they set up a standards committee. 2005. They set up a standards committee to write a standard for consumer products requiring a flame arrestor. Our injury happened in 2014. 2016, in between multiple surgeries, I went to my first ASTM committee meeting. I became a voting member there. I'm here to tell you today, this is a farce for public safety. This is not the way to keep America safe. I think we should make America safe again. ASTM has not gotten a standard written, and they will not just use the simple phrase, must require a flame arrestor. That's what it should have said, should have been done. It was one sentence. Obviously, we have a stranglehold. We've got captured regulatory bodies. I need our senators to bring the Portable Fuel Container Safety Act forward. I need it to go to the floor and to the president's desk. I need this for you. This is my right as a citizen, and I'm asking for help. Let's take this forward. Let's get the senators to let it go forward. 806 is through the House. It's a great bill. 1640, great bill too. I'm told that they are a valid substitute. I believe, and I'm told the wording is exactly the same. Let's bring it forward. Let's get it done. What's the fastest way from here? Help me. Everybody in the room, help me get this done. Your senator should be a part of this. They should want to be known for having supported this. They should co-sponsor it. They should be part of unanimous consent. Please reach out. Senator Klobuchar, Senator Jerry Moran, they brought this forward in the Senate. Those are the two offices you should be reaching out to and asking how you can help get this done. H.R. 806 is done in the House, unanimously. Mike Thompson and Congressman from Ohio, David Joyce. Those congressmen have done a great job. Let's get this done. 10 kids a day are burning alive. You're a kid if you're 80. You're still a kid. You've got a mother. I'm not trying to say it's every minor child. I'm just saying 10 human beings a day are burning alive. And we can prevent it. You shouldn't wait. We need this done. You have the power to change something that's good. Let's talk about it. Should our manufacturers play Russian roulette with us? Should they have to? I've had manufacturers tell me they would do it, but they would lose their business. If they do it and nobody else does, they're in a nickel deficit or penny deficit. Why are we making them decide profit or safety? Make it a level playing field. Make the requirement there. We have a very unfortunate situation. We've got millions and $1 billion a year being spent. Let's put that money to better use. I can think, and I'm just going to ask you, how could that money be better spent? Where can we reallocate that money? Some of these injuries are $6 million and $10 million. I just had the American Burn Association here. $6 million and $10 million for one patient. When we could have prevented it. Why are we allowing this? Why isn't this done? This is bipartisan. This is common sense. This is good logic. Help me. Solve it. Let's get it done.